Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over my Week 3 team builder for the 8th season of the GPC. This week we are up against Carson, aka Golden Centurion. Currently we are both 1-1, so we are both really eager to try to get above 500 for this league, as that's obviously where you want to be. Being below 500, not exactly optimal. But yeah. This one is a little. This match is going to be a little different. Assuming, like, it's going to be a little different for how I usually like to play my matches, because I'm a big proponent of balance. But Carson's team just demands that I can't play balance against his team. So let's look at what Carson can bring to the table. So he drafted Megaane, ElScizor, Greninja, Alolan Muck, Decidueye, Diggersby, Lycanroc Dusk, Seismitoad, Zebstrika, Machamp, and Incineroar. His Z users are Greninja and Diggersby. And as the Alolan starters did get their hidden abilities just recently, but Carson is not allowed to use them for this season, as the Pokemon were priced before the abilities were released. For Decidueye, it doesn't really matter. For Primarina, it doesn't really matter. The only one it really matters for is Incineroar. But regardless, as you can see, Carson's team is extremely offensive. There's really not a whole lot of bulk. Like, it's kind of bulky offense, but there's not a lot of dedicated defensive bulk. Like, the closest thing I would say is probably the Seismitoad. But other than that, biggest threats on his team are by far the Scizor and the Diggersby. Those two with priority can just wreck my team. Banded Scizor runs through my team, and I've seen mocks with Setup Diggersby wrecking me and Scarf Diggersby wrecking me, so I guess we'll see which one he opts to go for. But yeah, Megaane is also a big threat. We're going to check that. Slightly different than what you might think. And as for the rest of his team, it's a lot of, like, the Muck can pose a bit of an issue because it's just going to be extremely bulky. Yeah, like the Toad, I kind of expect the Toad to show up because it's one of his few rockers. Like, his other one is Lycanroc, I guess. I could see Lycanroc like coming as a sash lead with rocks. But yeah, definitely the biggest threats are the Scizor and the Diggersby, and I have to figure out how exactly I'm going to check both of those things. So let's take a look at how I constructed my team for this week. First off, we have Megaane. Once again, Rush. Again, like I said in previous weeks, pretty simple stuff in terms of the team building aspect. We have Thunderbolt, Volt Switch is just the normal stuff, Flamethrower specifically for Scizor, and then Hidden Power Grass for the Seismitoad. We have enough speed here to outspeed his fastest mon, which is his Greninja. And then just the rest into bulk. Honestly, once again, not too much to say about Megaane because it's pretty straightforward, but I think it's still good enough at what it does, and hopefully it will perform well. I'm a little iffy about the Megaane, I'll be completely honest, only because he's for sure bringing Diggersby because it's a huge offensive threat to my team. Plus, he does have the Toad to sponge up electric hits, and he does have Zebstrika. I don't know how likely of a bring Zebstrika is, considering its only fire coverage is Overheat. It's a very maybe bring. I'm still on the fence about the Zebstrika. But yeah, hopefully Megaane can still put in lots of momentum work for me. So yeah, that's Megaane. Another reason this is kind of good is it is a very soft check, a very soft offensive check to the Scizor. Only because after Intimidate, Banded Bullet Punch can do, I think it's 33 to 38, something like that. I don't remember the exact range. But it's not a 2-hit KO on Scizor's Bullet Punch, which is the main thing. But yeah, so that's Megaane. Next up we have Weavile. Weavile dents his team hard. I think, like, the way I've been saying that Scizor and Diggersby wreck my team, I kind of feel the same way that Weavile does the same, especially when I add in Low Kick. Running Band, because with a Band I am able to guarantee Oko a standard Mega Gardevoir with Icicle Crash, Ice Shard to out-prioritize all of his priority, as this also outspeeds his entire team. so the speed is for his Greninja. And again, rest in bulk. Icicle Crash knockoff, main stabs, Ice Shard priority, low kick, mainly there for Incineroar and Greninja, which resist my stabs. But it can also hit Diggersby, but it's not like I need to hit the Diggersby with low kick since I have Ice Stab for it. But yeah, again, not too much to say about Weavile. It's pretty straightforward, but it's just there to be a general breaker for Carson's team, as I think his team does have a lot of trouble trying to handle this. Next up, we have Physical Landorus. I think it's specifically just trying to be a little bit more unpredictable. I think like there's a lot of things that he could bring. I personally think that Decidueye is going to come to check Special Landorus. My front office doesn't think so. I understand why they don't think so, because I do have a Weavile, and Weavile is just a straight up counter to Decidueye. But I mean, it's like one of the only things that switches into Special Landorus. So we're running Physical instead to try to catch him a little bit off guard with SD. Earthquake knockoff are really the only moves I need, as his ground resists I don't think exist. It's just the Decidueye, actually. Yeah, so the only thing that he has to resist ground is Decidueye. Also note that Physical Landorus has an easier time breaking through Muck, as it's much more specially bulky than it is physically bulky. And then we just added Stealth Rocks in because I didn't have another rocker on the team, and I like, we originally had Rock Polish in the slot. I personally didn't see myself clicking Rock Polish too often. Especially with another Mon later, as you'll see. So I just decided I'll put Stealth Rocks on here just for general chip damage, because rocks are really important. Next up, we have Tentacruel. The way I'm going to be playing this team more than likely is I'm just going to try to make as many offensive switches as I can. I'm really going to be testing my I'm really going to be testing my pivoting skills in this match, I think. Or at least I'm hoping. So because of that, I need to spin away his potential hazards, as he does have the potential to hazard stack with rocks from either Lycanroc or Seismitoad, and then plus spikes and toxic spikes with Greninja, and he can even spin block with Decidueye, so I'm definitely going to need to watch out for that. But other than spinning, this is here to be a check, sort of a check to the Scizor. I really think that his Scizor has to come. I think it's banded. I saw one mock where it was defensive with leftovers. But regardless, this has to be here for the Scizor. Otherwise, I can just run rampant through my team, and hopefully I can get a Scald Run on it. Oh, excuse me. I apologize for that. Other than that, Rapid Spin Scald, that's pretty straightforward. Giga Drain has to be there for the Seismitoad, otherwise the rest of these moves deal nothing to it. And then I also have to run Sludge Bomb, because if I don't run Sludge Bomb, then Gardevoir is absolutely free to set up a sub in front of the Tentacruel, and that is a really bad time. So Sludge Bomb is kind of necessary here. Next up, well, I mean, it's something. So Scarf Exploud doesn't seem that far-fetched. But this is what's far-fetched. We're running Soundproof because other than the Tentacruel, Hyper Voice does a number to my team from the Mega Gardevoir. So I'm gonna try to check it a little bit differently and go Soundproof. The speed is here. I pretty much have to run max speed, and this is to outspeed. It outspeeds his entire team, and then as far as the Scarfers go, I can outspeed an Adamant Scarf Diggersby. I still think he needs to run Jolly Diggersby, because otherwise, if neither of us are Scarfed, he cannot outspeed Exploud. But I just put in the extra speed to outspeed the Adamant Scarf Diggersby, just in case he does decide to go with that route for whatever reason. But other than that, Boom Burst is here, because, I mean, it's Boom Burst. So because I don't have Scrappy, I really need to watch out for his Decidueye. So that's why I'm forced to run fire coverage, basically, so I have Overheat. I do have Ice Beam here, but Overheat's going to nuke that even harder. And then after Ice Beam is here for his Diggersby, and I think that might be it. I just really need it for his Diggersby. I do have Surf here as well. But the only problem with Surf is that it's a free invite for the Toad if he does bring it. The Toad, I'm kind of on the fence on whether it comes. I'm still not too sure. I kind of think it's gonna come, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much with X-Cloud. I originally had, oh, what were my original moves here? I had Focus Blast here and something else. I don't remember. I think it was Ice Beam. Never mind. I have Focus Blast, Ice Beam here, but we replaced Focus Blast with Surf. The Focus Blast was originally here for his Incineroar if he did bring it, but I mean, you never want to bank on a Focus Blast miss. So yeah, we replaced it with Surf and just hope that I have to play around the Toad basically. Last up, we originally had Magmortar in this slot, but my front office really liked this Pokemon in the matchup, so I'm gonna trust their gut. And we're running Babiri Berry Whimsicott as an offensive check to the Scizor, as when I switch this in, he's going to Bullet Punch. Assuming Banded, this takes a max of, like, it can survive with Babiri Berry after Rocks, a Bullet Punch. So then after that, I would HP Fire, dealing a little over 75% to it, and then I would Tailwind after that, and hopefully start wrecking some teams with really fast Pokemon. I am still not entirely sure about this set, only because I really don't think Tailwind's going to matter that much. Because if you look at Carson's team, he has so much priority. I think the only Pokemon on his team that don't have forms of priority are the Zebstrika, the Seismitoad, and the Mega Gardevoir. Everything else gets something, like Scizor gets Bullet Punch, Greninja gets Water Shuriken, Muck gets Shadow Sneak, Decidueye gets Sucker Punch, Diggersby gets Quick Attack, Lycanroc gets Accelerock, and then Machamp gets Bullet Punch, and Incineroar gets Fake Out. Like, so many of his teams have, like, legitimate forms. Maybe, like, it's a maybe that the, oh god, the Fake Out on the Incineroar isn't legitimate priority, but like the rest of his team, like those are very legitimate brings. Like those are very legitimate brings of moves on those Pokemon. Like I honestly don't know how much Tailwind is really gonna matter, but I'm gonna trust the gut of my front office and hopefully this Tailwind works. And then past that, just straight up Moonblast and Giga Drain for stabs and just dealing general damage. As I think he has some. Or no, he has the Machamp that I need the Moonblast for. Other than that, it's just for decent neutral coverage, and I guess, okay, it does hit the Greninja too. And then Giga Drain just for, you know, Giga Drain shenanigans. So, yeah, that's the team. Little bit weird. It's a little bit different, as this is, like, very clearly just hyper offense, and I am more of a balanced player, but I'm hoping that I can work through it. And yeah, that'll be the team. Let me know what you think of the team down in the comments section below. And yeah, oh shit, don't forget, check out Carson's channel, because I'm supposed to tell you that. Carson's channel, there will be a link in the description below for it, as well as a link to all of the coaches in the GPC this season, so you can follow along, all of them, to follow along with the entirety of the GPC for this season. So yeah, that's the team builder. Keep your eye out on the channel for the battle, which will be up tomorrow. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.